Hi, I'm Terry Bozzio. Welcome to Drum Channel, and I am really honored to have, I think the best drummer that ever lived. Billy Cobham is with us today. Bill Cobham, because he's no longer in junior high school.
Nope. That was Shimer Junior High School, and me and oh man, I'm trying to remember now. Keith Copeland, we were going to go to music and art, and then Keith, being a genius, he ended up going to the United States Air Force or something to do something. He became a cryptographer.
Wow!
In the Air Force. It's a whole other world, man. And he disappeared off the scene till the next time I saw him. He was playing percussion behind Stevie Wonder, man, and I was like, how'd you do that? Where'd you come from? I've been looking for you all. Nobody, the phone number has changed, everything. Your old man died a long while. We all went to school together. Man.
Yeah. I didn't know that you went to that high school,
Yeah, music and art. We were rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up in Harlem. And it's just so many things. I mean, as I was telling you off camera, so to get into the school, we had to take an examination. And also, I had to have a little letter from a pro that would stand behind me, and so I got one of the giants that to this day that I've always felt was like this amazing person. Even when I tell his son Craig, I mean he just laughs, but it's true. I got Uncle Roy Haynes to get me a letter because my best friend was Artie Simmons, and he was Roy's nephew. And sent me a letter and said, "Take this guy." But I said, yeah, "Mr. Haynes, when I grow up, I want to be just like you." He said, "Be careful what you suck on." He put his finger in my nose, and I was taller than him then.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Roy's killing, man. A friend of mine gave me one of his records, and is with Roland.
Roland Kirk.
Roland Kirk. Sorry, Roland Haynes.
Yeah.
At any rate, and they play the head, and then who takes the first solo is Roy, with the rest of the band comping behind him, man. And I'm just, this is great, deep stuff, man. And he's still kicking, right?
He's 96, and I think he was set to play the Blue Note in about a couple months.
That's fantastic.
Can you imagine this? And they normally do that for about a week, 10 days, something like that.
Yeah. 2
shows a night, it's beautiful because there was a time when you could go down to hear Roy at the Half Note, the Blue Note, Slugs in the Far East, or the Cotton Club. He never left New York unless it was with Sarah. And aside from that, no, he was always around New York. He was also a Seagram's liquor salesman, so he got into every. He was, man, and this is in the days of. They had to have these cabaret cards, and so he got around the cabaret card by being a liquor salesman. So he'd go into the club and say, "I'll give you an extra case, man. But I mean, how about I trade you an extra case for a week in the club?" And they do 3-4 shows a night, behind the bar, and nobody would be the wiser for years. And then finally, it started to fall apart. But yeah, what a trip! You talk about a griot. Oh
yeah.
Off the hook, man.
I just love him, man. Yeah, one of my favorite albums is Now He Sings, Now He Sobs with Miroslav and Chick, That
was the first time I ever heard a cymbal without a bell.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it,
Yeah.
Now I'm saying, okay. And by the way, speaking of cymbals without a bell, I got 64 of them bad boys here in my locker that says Terry Bozzio on them. They're all the different size. So I just use one or the other from time to time. But I have not yet used them all. I'm getting there. I got 4. We'll get it.
Oh man, Billy, I'm trying to think. The last time we were together was in Japan, and I got to play with you that night, right?
That was the last time we played together. But the last time we were together was the day that you told me that you didn't remember me.
Oh, that's right. Because you came up and surprised me with the Brecker Brothers.
With Infinity, and
Yeah, the heavy metal bebop band.
It was pretty heavy metal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was rocking, man. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, and
thanks,
it's
man.
a whole nother thing. But back in Japan, yeah, that was an experience because Tom Coster was playing keyboards
Yeah, and I was
with
playing
us.
with Tom, I think, the next day, and then
Uh-huh.
I had some other special guests. It was, promoter's idea, and but that ended up being really something I loved doing, which was with Alan Holdsworth, Tony Levin, and Pat Mastelotto.
Mm-hmm.
So, after I played with you, I played with Tom, and then we brought in Alan and Tony Levin and Pat Mastelotto, and then we
Mm-hmm.
got to tour, and that band was no music, just free, just everybody improvise in a
Woo!
compositional manner. And Alan, I think, ultimately didn't want to do it because he heard some feedback from some fans, like, "Oh, why don't you play this? And why doesn't
Yeah,
Bozzio
right.
play this from his past?" And
Yeah.
they wanted like a tribute thing. But I wanted
Mm-hmm.
an authentic, never to be repeated moment,
Mm-hmm.
where nobody's like, you know, just whatever happens, happens. Because those guys, I would just go, whatever you want to do, I love it already. So I would never tell you what
Sure.
to play. Let's just
Sure.
play, and listen.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
can you imagine with Tony on I forget the name of the instrument, the string
the
instrument, the big
stick.
guy. Oh my God.
Yeah, deep. The guy's got a palette, that's just really wide. So
It's
yeah,
it,
and
it's so extreme and yet makes so much. It's so logical. I mean, when I was with Gabriel and he started playing stick, he was playing. But that's the first time I saw two drumsticks on his fingers. And he's playing on only three strings on the bass because
right.
there was no fourth string.
Yeah,
I went, I get it. I get it now.
yeah,
I
yeah.
get it.
He's
And it
deep.
was right on the money, man. It was just in. Oh boy,
Yeah. Yeah, he's
you
a
know.
real musician, man. I love him. He's one of my favorite bass players, and his,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, his palette is just so wide. But those funk fingers, man, those are tough. I mean, they sound very much like the point on a bass drum pedal. So if he's off a little bit,
Yes, yes,
I'm gonna suck.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. He was right on the money all the time,
Oh
man. Never
yeah.
had a problem with him.
Yeah. I mean, he
That
does
back
like
in '95, we did what 3 months, 4 months. I enjoyed every second of it.
mm,
Never. I wish I could have done more. I actually made a big mistake. There was a Stanley Clark tour immediately after the Gabriel tour ended. It was like we ended one date short of what I would have loved to have done, but I was only contracted up to that point, and then out of nowhere comes the Woodstock
mm.
revival, and I couldn't go because I was supposed to be somewhere with Stanley. Which, with all due respect, but I couldn't just. I'm not Tony Williams. I can't do that. I had to follow the Tony just up and go. See you later, man. Ciao. Get another drummer or talk to them.
What are
I'm
your
out of here.
feelings about Tony?
He was a radical. He followed his heart. He did what he felt was musically correct. It would come off as being, how can not greedy, but I can't find the word. But he was thinking about, it was selfish. But in another way, it worked. Everybody can't do that. That's why I can't listen to anybody else play like Tony. I don't care if you wear polka dots, girl, boy, whatever. I mean, Tony's gone. What he did, he did. It's done. Wrapped it up, and let's move on.
Yeah,
And I'll go back and listen to him any day.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I can't make it listen to anybody else do him.
No,
It's got to be just him.
no. I mean, Elvin and Tony, I think just
There's
were
another
two,
one.
yeah, two really unique individuals. And for me, when I saw you at the Great American Music Hall with Abercrombie and the Brecker Brothers and
Oh
Milcho,
yeah,
I mean,
what a mess.
I just, no, man, it was seriously scary. I mean, I just went, okay, if I practice 10 hours a day for the rest of my life, I'm never going to be able to do what this guy does. And this was back, I think, until the 70s, people really felt like, okay, there's a drum king and everybody should follow the drum king. And you, my friend, I mean, in my opinion, are the drum king. I have never, I watch a lot of guys, right? And there's beautiful expression and individual unique expression. And then there's you. And I mean, your pocket is just stupid from the CTI days and all that stuff. It's just so beautiful. Then you can read, you can play any freaking style. You had the odd times, you had the big drum set, which was an innovation. You had, the ability to play all those odd times and that Latin thing. I mean, just everything you did was just beyond what anybody else did until that point. And I still do not see anybody coming up who has that kind of scope and that kind of power as what you've contributed,
I think things have changed to a great degree where young people, younger than me, people haven't taken it upon themselves to explore what the earth can offer them by traveling and rubbing elbows, with other people, because they just don't know. They haven't had any reason to, especially in the United States. It's a trap. I mean, it's a culture trap. You got everything there. You just walk out of the house and fall on your face, and you could potentially get up with something that somebody else left behind.
Mm.
That's good, and then again, I don't know. How about playing the pain that you're going through on your face, and see how that comes out? But it's the way it is, and I respect that. I get it. But so I consider myself blessed that I was able to, because I didn't have a choice. I came from an Afro-Latin family out of Brooklyn. I mean, out of Panama, and
Panama.
We lived back in Panama again. So of course, it was easy to make and go back into the flow because that's still happening there. But that's part of the good things. Still a lot of bad things. At the same time, it all falls into place, and you take what you can and you make the best of it. It's like me going to Williamsburg and trying to play Hava Nagila with a Jew. No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
it's going to be a hybrid, and nowhere near come close. Forget the money. It's about the music and the art. So that's where you have to start to reflect. Going into to play in Italy. I'm so blessed to just listen to the music, to go to Sardinia, to then go to Sicily and in Siracusa or Palermo, and you hear them play the music. I mean, I hear them play my music, and it's their opinion, their musical opinion. This is the way they hear it, and it all tends to fall right into place, no matter what, and everybody learns from each other. So far, that's not been easy for me to pass on. It's just difficult. But the only way I can continue to, I just keep pounding that rubber tree plant and say, this is what I know. I don't know. Let's see what you know.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll work for you. I don't
Man,
know.
but you've always been that way. I mean, I saw a clinic once with you where you were just talking about how it's a conversation. And you'd say your comment, and then my comment or my answer is, but, and then you're, I'm listening to you, and then I'm playing my bit. And, man, everything, you just have everything. And, you play on a no cheat snare drum. There's just no way. I've played it, and it's like, if you make a mistake, it's obvious, right? And you never, never make a mistake, man. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, and the whole objective, Terry, is just to play who you really are.
Yeah.
And let that flow. Those mistakes eventually become your successful side.
Yeah.
You just got to keep at it, and it'll happen. The better you are at making the mistakes, the faster you will fix them.
Yeah.
Because you'll hear something, and there it is. It's there, And it ain't about, there it is. You're going to play that, and it's going to be you. And the where it's coming from is the mistake that you made before, which was, and it just keeps going that way. And that's how I continue to look at it.
That's how, for me, when I saw you play Great American Music Hall in 1970, 72, maybe, I don't know. I just went, okay, there's got to be a Terry somewhere that can express himself, but because I won't be able to do this that Billy does, there is just no way I could even approach that. And
But
so,
you have.
well, I do my thing, and I thank
That's the
you
whole
for
objective.
showing
I
me
could
what I
never
couldn't do.
do your thing, but that's not what I'm striving for. When I see you sit in front of all that stuff, I go, okay. I'm trying to figure out what would I touch first, or where do I go? And I just end up going boom, boom, bap, boom, boom, bap. And this is safe. Stay here. Leave everything else alone. You're gonna die. And immediately, I start to hear stuff, and I'm going, well, let me touch this or that, touch this, and that, but come back here again. So I'm thinking, I know what I've established. I know that I can play within this particular tiny little bubble.
Not a bubble.
And so I'm going to just stick my hand
huge.
out the side of the bubble and tap it outside the bubble and see if that worked. No, it didn't work. Oh, let me try that, And eventually some things start to fall into place. And what I'm talking about is tones.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find relative sounds to what I know works all the time. So I'm becoming more and more secure. And as soon every attempt I make at something to be a little bit different than what I'm used to, I go, kind of. But then something else will, fine, if I do that, then that'll work. And this is in real time. I mean, we're talking nanoseconds. I'm going, shit, I can't fuck this up now. And then let me see if I can hold this together. Next thing you know, it's coming.
Yeah.
And it stays. I say, that's enough for the moment. Let's stay with the 3 drums and the band. Let's just stay there.
Oh man.
And we can get through this. We'll get into some more stuff tomorrow or next week. But that's enough for now. And I'm good with that. You got to know. You got to be sincere unto yourself.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Oh man, I don't think anybody has beat you can compare to you being true to yourself. But yourself is so big. I think the biggest ever, man. You can
this
read.
This is the smallest glass of wine
you've got it. Enjoy. let me blow some smoke and you enjoy your wine. You can read. You've got this pocket that's ridiculous. You've got the odd times, the Latin thing, and then superhuman chops, right? And your credits, are like a who's who. I don't know what to say, I just always go, okay, Billy did this. I have not seen anything close to that yet. There's guys who have certain things that I love. Wonderful, do this, do that, do that. But then there's this kind of holistic thing that you have, like a real drummer. This, I think it was Tony Williams said, I hear this term great drummer tossed around all the time. He goes, I'll show you what a great drummer is. A guy who can play with a country band one night, a big band the next night, Prince the next night, and a heavy metal band the next night. And you are that guy, you can do anything. And it's just a wonderful, what can I say? I'm a better person because I have gotten to see and, been exposed to Billy Cobham in my life, And,
Missing Persons was a band that I followed all the time.
I don't understand that. Same with Miles, man. Miles, after I met Miles, he goes, I met him at the Grammys, right? And I made everybody wear tuxedos because it was our first time to go to the Grammys. So Warren, who's about this tall.
Yeah, about that big.
Yeah, he couldn't look good in a tux. So he's wearing his Yoshi Yamamoto and, stuff like Miles. So Miles comes up to him and goes, yeah, man, I like your shit, and is this Yoji and, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, this guy wanted me to wear, a tux. And Miles looks over and he goes, you look like you're going to a funeral. And then he introduced me to Philly Joe Jones, right? And I'm going, wow, here's Philly Joe and Miles. And Miles is still talking to Warren because he's dressed cool, right? and he goes, yeah, I like the band. My wife listens to it around the house all the time. He goes, I hear the drummer's sad though. Just fucking with me, man. I went 3 shades of white past what I am, you know? It was like, so then I realized he's joking. Okay.
Yeah, you can see that shit going down right now.
Yeah, right. It's a great story. I mean, every Miles Davis story is a great story. But then he called me a few days later and he goes, when you going to write something for me? And I said, oh, man, you know, like almost, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll call you back, you know.
I'll be back.
So a week later, I found something. I thought maybe I'll toss that out there. And he had gone back to New York, no phone number there. So that was my big Miles miss, you know. But man, I love
that all falls into the same category as Miles being on Billy Taylor's jazz afternoon on WLIB, and Billy says, "So what's happening, man? I hear you going down you're playing at the Vanguard tonight." I said, "Yeah, I'm playing at the Vanguard." I said, "Yeah." I said, "So who's in the band?" He said, "Yeah, Tony, Ron, Herbie, and Joe Henderson." And Billy said, "Okay, that's good. Joe Henderson's playing." I said, "Okay, what happened to Wayne?" "He's not playing." I said, "Oh, okay." And so out of the blue, that afternoon, Joe is walking down 125th Street, and somebody says, "Hey, Joe, man, I'm coming down to see you tonight." He said, Joe said, "Where?" Yeah, I hear you playing down at the Vanguard. I said, "With who?" Miles said so. And Joe said, "You did? When?" He said, "This afternoon on the Billy Taylor show." "You did?" "Yeah." "Oh, okay." And next thing you know, about 9 o'clock that night, 1 hour late, right? Joe walks in with his saxophone because he said, "I must have forgot." I mean, Miles said that. He walks in, they finished the tune as a quartet. Miles looks at him and goes, "You're late."